Hi guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to create a EC2 instance using the new instance creation wizard just released by AWS. So to open the EC2 console, use the search bar at the top of the page to search for EC2. So you'll see an EC2 search result. So all you just have to do is to click on EC2. So this action will actually open up the Ec2 console for your AWS account. So once the console opens up, you'll basically see a dashboard that gives you a global view of all of your EC2 resources. By the way, EC2 actually stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, and it's basically a computer rental service that AWS offers that actually allows you to create instances or virtual machines that you can actually use for almost any use case. So you'll see this is the global dashboard for my AWS account. And to deploy an EC2 instance, you have to click on the orange launch instance button right here. So click on that button and then click on launch instance. So this is the actually the new launch experience. They actually call it the new launch experience. So before it was a multi-paged wizard, but now the new one is just a single page that allows you to set everything that you need to set. So the first thing that you need to set is the name of the instance. So in this example, I'm actually going to be creating a MikroTik instance. So I'm actually going to call this MikroTik instance. Let me actually type that out again. Okay. 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 So once you've typed that in, you now need to select the Amazon machine image for this instance. So there's a list of quick start images that you can actually use, but in this case the one that we want to use is not there. So I'm actually going to show you how you can search for the image from the Aws Marketplace. So click on browse more AMIs, and then you should now see a choose an Amazon machine image window. So click on AWS Marketplace, and then you should now see a there should actually be a search box that you can use to search for the AMI. So I'm just waiting for it to load up. Before we can then do the search. Okay, so this is the AWS Marketplace. So I'm going to search for MikroTik. Okay, so it's now searching. Okay, so this is a MikroTik cloud hosted router. And then I'm going to select that, and then I'm then going to click on continue. So the continue button is a bit on the far right corner of your EC2 management console. So once you've selected your AMI, the next thing is you need to scroll down, and then you need to select your instance type. So there's so many instance types that you can actually choose from, and these define the amount of resources that you want your instance to have. For example, if you want to create an instance that's got a dual-core processor and 4 gigs of RAM, you can select the T2.medium instance type. So if you want a much larger instance that's got 8 CPUs and 33 gigs of memory, you can select the T3.2x large instance type, and then scroll down to the key pair login section. So this key pair section is actually very important because the key pair file that you actually select here is what actually allows you to connect to this instance via SSH. So you can either select an existing key pair, or you can click on the create new key pair button to create the file. So once you've downloaded this, you actually need to download this file and you need to keep it safe on your computer so that whenever you want to connect to your instance, you can actually use this file to connect. So you just need to scroll down, and then on the file security group section, you can either choose to create a new security group or to select an existing security group. So basically, a security groups are a set of roles that are attached to networking rules that are attached to your instance that define things like basically it's the ports, communications ports that are allowed to connect out into your instance. For example, if you want to allow HTTP port 80 and HTTPS port 443, you actually define that in the security group. And you can actually define what IP addresses are actually allowed to connect through to your instance through security groups. So in this case, I'm just going to choose to create a new security group, and then you need to make sure that you've checked the allow SSH traffic checkbox. And then you can choose either the anywhere option or a custom IP address, or you can choose your current public IP address on this drop down. In this case, I'm just going to leave it on anywhere, and then scroll down, and then you now need to configure your storage settings. So you can create an instance from a gig. You can actually define a virtual storage that starts from about a gig in size up to as big as you want. But if you're using a free tier account, you've got a limitation of 30 gigs. But in this case, since this is a MikroTik router, I'm just going to leave it on 1 gig. Scroll down, and there's the details section. Actually, we can actually take a quick look here, and you can actually choose things like requesting a spot instance. You can actually select an IAM instance profile, and you can configure host name and DNS settings in this section, as well as your shutdown behavior and stuff like that. You can actually choose to either stop or terminate the instance when you shut it down. When it goes into hibernate, you can actually enable hibernate or disable hibernate. I think this option is quite handy if this instance was a Windows based instance. Then you're probably going to want to enable to enable the stop hibernate behavior option, so that Windows doesn't go into hibernate whilst it's running. You can actually choose termination protection to prevent you from accidentally deleting this instance. You can actually enable this termination protection option. This will prevent you from accidentally deleting this instance. Actually, if you actually enable this termination protection option, it says here that the instance can't be terminated using the console API or CLI until termination protection is disabled. So you actually have to manually disable the termination protection if you actually want to delete this instance. So I'm just going to scroll down to the summary section. So in the summary section, you can actually see what we're doing. So we're creating one instance, and we're actually using the cloud hosted router AMI. We're going to be using the T2.micro instance type, and then we're going to create a new file security group, and then we're going to create a storage volume that is of 1 gig in size. So once you've made your selections, you just need to click on launch instance. So this will actually go out to then deploy the instance for us. If you click on details, you can actually see what it's doing. You just have to wait for this process to complete. So once it's done, you just need to click on view all instances. So this will actually take you back to the Ec2 management console, where you can actually see what instances you actually have on in your account. So once you actually finish deploying it, the instance state will actually be set to pending, and it takes about a minute or so for it to change from pending to running. So there you have it, folks. Basically, this is how you can create a Amazon instance using the new launch experience.